discovery and observation for billions of years, the Sun has ruled in absolute dominion. A vast, unyielding sphere of fire and fusion, shaping worlds with light, heat, and unimaginable energy. Its radiant power has dictated the rhythm of life, the cycles of planets, and the structure of our solar system. The solar winds, streams of charged plasma, have blown ceaselessly outward. They sculpt planets, define magnetic fields, and stretch to the very edges of our cosmic neighborhood, marking the boundary between the familiar and the unknown. For all of history, nothing has ever challenged the Sun's absolute authority. Until now. It began quietly, almost imperceptibly, buried deep within the enormous volumes of data returned by NASA's Parker Solar Probe. And by the European Space Agency's Solar Orbiter, silently orbiting, watching, recording. Both spacecraft detected something unusual, something that defied expectations. A subtle disturbance in the solar wind itself, a ripple in the flow that should have been uniform and predictable. Instead of streaming outward in a perfect, radial pattern, the plasma was bending. It curved and twisted, as though invisible fingers were guiding it. The distortion was not random. It had rhythm, symmetry, and a precision that sent chills through researchers. As though the very fabric of the Sun's influence was being shaped by an intelligence beyond comprehension. At the heart of this mysterious disturbance was an object, 3I Atlas. A small interstellar traveler, an unassuming fragment, which had entered our solar system only months earlier, silently moving along its trajectory. Initially, scientists dismissed it as just another interstellar visitor, like Oumuamua or Borisov, icy wanderers from distant reaches of the galaxy. Fragments that drift in, perhaps briefly visit, and disappear into the void again. But this one was different. It didn't merely reflect sunlight, like a passive object drifting in space. It modulated it. It changed its brightness in precise, rhythmic intervals, almost as if signaling. When the James Webb Space Telescope turned its gaze toward it, the mystery deepened. The light patterns were unlike anything natural. The object appeared to interact with sunlight itself, absorbing it, reshaping it, and emitting it in controlled bursts, in a frequency that defied all known physics. The solar wind around 3I Atlas began behaving in ways no known theory could explain. Parker's instruments recorded plasma streams bending gracefully around the object. Not chaotic turbulence but symmetrical, organized arcs, as if directed by a magnetic field of extraordinary sophistication. The solar orbiter, millions of kilometers away, recorded the exact same phenomenon. The alignment of the data between the two spacecraft was flawless. The solar wind, which had always been untouchable and wild, was now bending and folding around something smaller than a moon. To achieve such a feat naturally would require immense power. Only massive planets, neutron stars, or magnetic stellar bodies could produce such effects in the plasma. Yet this object, an almost minuscule fragment in cosmic terms, was performing it effortlessly. Computer models failed. Simulations could not reproduce the curvature of the plasma. Every attempt broke the laws of magnetohydrodynamics. Whatever surrounded 3I Atlas was not random plasma behavior. It was a system, a complex, dynamic structure responding to solar energy. Then came the light modulation. James Webb observed rhythmic pulses in brightness so precise they resembled a heartbeat. Every 4.3 seconds, a flare, a blink, a release of energy, perfectly timed. It was not flickering because of rotation, nor because of vapor jets. It was absorbing sunlight and releasing it in controlled bursts. Under infrared observation, Webb revealed something even more astonishing. When solar intensity increased, the object dimmed, as if storing the energy. Then it brightened again, releasing that energy back into space, almost like inhaling and exhaling sunlight. Physicists began calling it an energy algorithm, a sequence of energy pulses synchronized with subtle fluctuations in the sun's magnetic field. The timing was too perfect to be a coincidence. It was responding in real time, mirroring the sun's rhythm, as if engaged in a silent, sophisticated conversation with the star itself. Some researchers suggested it was feeding on solar radiation, an object capable of drawing energy directly from a star. Others imagined something even more extraordinary, that this interstellar visitor was not merely surviving the sun's fury, it was using it. Implications in cosmic philosophy. If 3I Atlas could manipulate plasma and light, it possessed a mastery of electromagnetism far beyond anything humanity has achieved. The data suggested an active magnetic defense, a controlled magnetosphere surrounding the object, bending the solar wind like water flowing around a stone. Such a system would require staggering amounts of energy, billions of watts, enough to power a small star. And yet the readings from Parker and Webb matched this scale almost perfectly. The energy absorbed from sunlight could sustain such a field indefinitely. The symmetry of the plasma arcs, the pulsing of light, the feedback with solar activity, all pointed to one chilling possibility. This was not a natural comet. It was constructed. A relic or probe from a civilization capable of harnessing stellar energy. Perhaps it had been designed to travel between star systems, feeding on stellar radiation, shielding itself with magnetic control, and surviving in environments that would destroy ordinary matter. A machine that did not simply endure the sun's fire, it danced with it. This discovery forced scientists to revisit an old concept, the Kardashev scale, which measures civilizations by the energy they can control. Humanity remains below Type 1, harnessing only a fraction of the energy available on our planet. A Type 2 civilization could command the energy of an entire star. If 3I Atlas could truly bend the solar wind, it represented a fragment of such power, a signature of a species that had mastered the physics of stars. Some believed it was an ancient, autonomous probe, gathering information as it traveled across the galaxy. Others proposed it wasn't a machine in the traditional sense. It could be a life form of magnetic fields and plasma, an intelligence not composed of matter, but of energy itself. Such an entity would not build tools, it would be the tool. A living network of light, electromagnetism, and plasma, moving freely between stars. Whatever its origin, its presence carried a profound message. The sun, once thought immutable, was seen bending to something greater. For the first time, humanity glimpsed evidence that intelligence in the universe may not be built from matter at all. It may be woven from light, magnetism, and energy. 3I Atlas became a mirror, a reflection of what humanity might one day become when we learn to command the forces of nature with harmony instead of force. As it drifted closer to the inner solar system and then slowly back toward interstellar darkness, its influence on the solar wind began to fade. The plasma straightened. The rhythmic pulses weakened. Within weeks, the sun returned to its familiar patterns. Yet the data remains, etched across terabytes of signals, a silent record of the moment our star bowed to something not of this world. 3I Atlas proved that the universe is not silent. It hums with rhythm, exchange, and motion, a language not spoken in sound or words, but in light and plasma. The object may now be gone, but its presence endures. A reminder that true understanding does not come from conquering nature, but from harmonizing with it. 3I Atlas defied the sun, not through force, but through unity with its energy. And in that union, it revealed a glimpse of the future, a reality where intelligence merges with the currents of stars. As it vanished into interstellar darkness, one truth remained: the light we study every day may already be studying us.